So as usual, before we proceed, please make sure you submit your attendance. Okay. Alright. So let me share my screen. Okay. So, first question is a very straightforward question. Okay. So you can get it from the internet. I got it from internet as well. List 3 differences of sequence diagram and activity diagram. Okay. So you have this one. I got it from. I already put here. This slide share whatever. Okay. So basically, sequence diagram models the sequential logic, but the activity diagram focuses on the process flows captured in system, and etc. You can read from here. It's very important to know the difference so that you know what you have to draw when you have a case study. Sometimes I think for your batch it's not really that much because you're in second year. Let's say if you go for the final year project, you have the option to draw for interaction diagram. So you have the choices. You don't have to draw all diagrams that you have learned. So far you have learned sequence diagram and activity diagram. So for your particular project, what is the more suitable, sequence or activity diagram? Right, so that's why you need to know the difference. This is another one. Okay. All right. So next question. Given the following sequence diagram, draw an IOD by replacing the alternative combined fragments with region and a merge node. Okay. So this one taken from the previous lecture. So this one is to withdraw money. Okay. So what you can do is you combine. You take the first part, enter amount, withdraw, check balance as a SD, and then for the alternate, you can make it as a reference. So, for example, something like this. Okay. So, what you can see from here, since the question is it's not really that detailed. So, for example, the name of the sequence diagram is not mentioned there, so you can have anything, right? So, but then I just choose this one, withdraw money, and then okay, it must start with the initial node, and for the first part, okay, the withdraw and check balance, I make it as another sequence diagram. So this one I name it as a check balance, right? So if you can see from here, I remove the actor, retain the ATM, bank and account. Okay, I think I made some mistake here. So this one should be like this. This one, it should be rectangle. Okay, not rounded rectangle. Because this is an object, right? It's a class. Okay. Alright. So this one is a rectangle. So if you notice, it start from withdraw because from ATM, right? So start from ATM, then I just take it this withdraw. You see, I take this one withdraw, and then check balance. Okay, I don't have to take the reply balance because that is not uh, the occurrence, the interaction. That one is the reply, just reply interaction. So I can ignore that. Okay. So then I got this. Next, since it has alternate definitely you have to use this lah. Right? This diamond. So one is if the amount less than balance, another one is amount greater or equal to balance. Okay. So one go to reference dispense cash, another one reference to display message. You can have display error message whatever, but that is a display message lah. Okay, and then end with end note. Oh, I missed this. This one should be. Wait a minute. It should be something like this. Like this. And then, let's see lah. Okay. So you have split and merge node. Okay. So you break it here, and then you combine it here, and then go to the end. Alright. So this is how you convert the sequence diagram given to an IOD. Okay. Any question? Okay, kan? It's very straightforward. So the next one is draw an IOD for this use case. Okay. Since again this question has no detail, it's just like this, so you can have many assumptions. But what we want to teach you is more like how are you going to use this include, right? How are you going to cover the include? So what you can do, this another sample answer. So you can have, right? Let me zoom in. Okay, so for this one, my interaction overview diagram, I use exactly from the use case name. You see, manage payment by cash. Right, so from the manage payment by cash, and then again start with the initial, and then so inside this SD get payment information basically is the processes or the workflows of manage payment by cash. Okay, again since I do not know what's inside, okay, I just assume, right? So that's why I got this payment web page, and then go to the customer table like, and then checks the account. Okay, this one is just my assumption lah. But then the point here is I create another sequence diagram named get payment information, which is actually it must be part of workflow or main flows from the UC3, manage payment by cash. Okay, so if you can see from here, I just assume lah. Okay, I just assume, but then it's more or less like that. And then after that, I combine with the calculate total fee, which is included use case. Okay, so if we go to SD calculate total fee. So this is a reference, it's just like this to show how it works for included use case. Okay, and end with the end note, right? So next question. Okay. So given the following sequence diagram, draw an IOD by replacing the loop. Okay, this one about loop combine fragments with a cycle. Okay, so how are you going to do that? So we know that this is the loop fragment. So I can have something like this, right? SD process sale, and then make new sale, and then enter. So this is the where the loop happen. If we go, okay, after it makes make new sale, if we go to enter item information, and then if there is a more item, if we go back to enter item info. If there is no more item, then go to the next process. So the next processes, I combine it, I just name it as a payment process. Okay. So by right, this one also actually cannot be like this. Reference make me sale. This one it cannot be as a reference. This one should be in SD fragment. So it's just like this. SD make new sale, and then you will have, because the process is only that, cashier to system. So you will have cashier and then system. Right. So what happened is just like that. That is that. Make new sale. And I change it to make new sale. Okay, this one shouldn't be. It should be in this form, SD. Okay. Because if you make it as a reference, make new sale, it means that you are telling there are some main flows. There is no only one. You know, it must be some flows lah involved. That's why you need another sequence diagram. But then this one is very simple. So it just like make new sale, and then after that, next thing to do. Okay. Alright. So, why is like this? So question number 5. Parallel combined fragments in sequence diagram are replaced by a split node and a join node in IOD. So what is the parallel combined fragment? So you know that in the sequence diagram you have parallel combined fragment. So basically it's a fragment to visualize the concurrency interactions and interaction occurrences. Okay, there is a concurrency process lah basically. Okay, and then B, draw a sequence diagram that uses parallel combined fragment. So you can give anything, right? So this is the one that I got. So this is how the parallel combined fragments looks like, the one that you use for sequence diagram. Okay, and then C, based on your answer from B, convert the sequence diagram into IOD by replacing the parallel combined fragments with a split node and a joiner. So how are you going to do that? Let's say I use this example. Right. So what I can do is, since I do not know what's the name of this, I just name it as ST. Okay. And then it's always start with initial node. And then we have search Google, search Bing, and search us. Alright. So this one, then you just merge, you split. Some. Let's say this one has many processes lah. Okay. Then you will have something like this. If not, okay lah, nanti kan you are confused. You just throw normal one. Actually, you can have something like this. SD search Google. And then you can have this. You can have this. Search Google. And then you will have same thing for another one. Okay, the bad thing about Microsoft, I can copy this. Search, what just now? Search Bing. So, same thing. Why I have this? Because the process is so little. If you want to use reference, you can for this question, but implementation wise, it's not practical. It's not realistic. This one is for the sake of the tutorial. Okay. Right. Once you have that, then you will combine. Okay. So that's for my IOD. Okay, my parallel. So if you have, let's say, your interaction, you have more than one interaction, you can make it as a reference, but is smaller than this. So your diagram will not be as big as this. Okay, so that is for parallel fragment. of sequence diagram when you convert it into IOD. It's just like an activity diagram. Okay. So next is question number 6. Alright. Draw an IOD for the interaction. For below figure, you may break the interaction up into separate interactions and interaction occurrences. So we have given you the occurrences that you may use: request, response and response, validate and validation, charge rate and display, and request photo. Okay, so this is another type of sequence diagram that actually I just introduce you now, so that you know what you're going to learn next lecture. If you look at the arrow is not like straightforward. It's a slanting little bit, from beacon to vehicle. Then from vehicle to beacon, it's a slanting, right? So this one to show that you have time frame. Okay, this is how you represent it in the sequence diagram. And then you have yes, that's the one lah. So for this sequence diagram, you have parallel process and optional op. Okay, so how you convert this vehicle passes beacon into IOD. Okay, so what you can do is something like this. Alright, so this one represent the parallel part, right? And this, okay, and this one represent the diamond represent the op one, the option. Okay, so you can see how you break into first receive response between beacon and transponder, and then just these two direction, and then after that parallel to validate transponder and calculate charge, and then it will merge back, and then it will go to option. If it's invalid, it will request photo, and after that it will end. If but then there is no else. There is the option is it's not like alternate, right? So alternate you have condition. So it means that there is some result lah in this situation, but then it's an optional process. So that's why there is no guard here. Straight away go to the end. But then since this is option, you have to use diamond. So diamond is just like split and merge lah. Okay, so you have 2 diamonds for that. Alright. So that's for IOD. Any question? Senang saja.
Doctor, usually we don't include the reply message in the frame, right? So for this question, we need, is it?
Include what?
The reply message, because the recent questions, let's say this received response, we need to include the response ID, but in the recent questions, we do not include the reply message.
Response, I understand. This response ID, because they don't make it as a reply message lah. This one is a asynchronous message. They make it as a asynchronous message. So
I see.
that's why they include. Usually the one that we remove is the dotted line one.
Oh, okay. Thank you, doctor.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, So if you have no question, and that's all for today. See you next week for timing diagram. Okay. All right. Bye. You're welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome. Don't forget for tonight, please be punctual at 9 o'clock.
Doctor, excuse me. The exam will be tonight at 9, right?
9, yes. And
Okay.
the season will end by 10. So you
Okay.
only have 1 hour. It's not like previous one.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Doctor. Can I ask the question again? For
Yeah.
question 4. For question 4, because you said that we don't use a reference, but a more complete frame, right? Can I just also use reference, but make another sequence diagram for the reference?
Or you want to detail it out there?
Like I still use the reference, but I will make a sequence diagram for the reference.
Can?
Like I
Can?
still use the. Can. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So that question number 4, you have two options lah. Whether you want to straight away take it from the original sequence diagram, or if you want to make it reference, you will have another one with more detail make new cell.